Hello, it's February 3rd, 2024, and a rare sunny day in the Michigan winter and pretty warm. It's about 45 degrees today. It's supposed to be even warmer tomorrow. So this is the kind of weather where we can be putting maple sap taps in, which is about 6 weeks earlier than it should be. But anyway, what I wanted to focus on a little bit today was this back 40 persimmon area. And I've been working back here putting down a bunch of logs and other woody debris, sort of a nurse log idea. And that's worked well in this garden over the years in this very sandy, dry soil. It seems to encourage the growth of things and probably helps shift the soil over toward fungally dominated instead of all this bacterially dominated grass that we have everywhere. The grass is kind of a concern of mine, not only because nothing seems to browse it and graze on it. It is a native grass, mostly little blue stem, so that's good. But it seems like a fire hazard. I have not really burned this property before. I did one little area once, and that was kind of almost a disaster. So I've thought about, trying to do a managed burn back here sometime. But if we get a really dry summer and a lightning strike or a cigarette butt or something, this whole garden could go up in flames and ruin everything I've ever done. So what I'm debating is how to manage the grass, and maybe you can see a little bit of a difference over here versus over here. This area has been had a lot of wood chips added to it over the years, and maybe mowing a long time ago once, but it's had a lot more wood chips, so it's dominated more so by dewberries than grass, although last year most of it got a pretty good covering of wood chips. And so you can see in some of these areas there's actually no growth that's come through there yet, just a little bit of dewberry and the odd grass or yarrow or something. So that's good. And now as these persimmons start growing up, I want to have a ground cover that's manageable. I don't want tall grass, I don't want dewberries. So I'm kind of thinking through how I'm going to manage this over the next few years, if I'm going to start doing more mowing back here between the trees. Now, mowing on all these logs I put down would be a bit of a pain, but I might, I'll probably continue to add wood chips and sort of flatten things out a bit with wood chips, because I'm really hoping to get persimmons one of these years. I've been waiting about 12 years at least since I planted my first persimmon trees, and it's been a very long wait. They're my favorite fruit that you can grow in this climate, and super delicious. I grafted some last year for the first time and had a few of those grafts that seemed like they took pretty well. So I'm hoping that this year I'll do some more grafts. I've got more cyanwood coming, some more varieties, and hopefully they didn't winter kill in the cold temperatures we had a little while back, but we'll see. And I'm also thinking maybe about bringing a path through the persimmon area somehow before these trees get too large. So I've kind of been thinking through and visualizing where a path might come across the way here and connect over to the mowed area under the power lines. So I'm not going to make a long video, but everywhere there's a pink flag here, there's a persimmon tree, and I have to probably further designate which ones are graftable. Like this little guy here, this would definitely be a grafting candidate this year. It's a good size for it. This one here has got two competing trunks that are both a good size for grafting. This is kind of a gnarly thing here. It probably got bit or damaged and laid over and still grew, so I could have two chances for grafting, or I could just cut that funky one out. Something to show here, this is a coppice regrowth on false indigo, and then there's another one that's 2 years of regrowth. And so 2 years ago I cut the whole thing to the ground, and then the ones that have seed pods on them are 2 years old, and the ones that don't, these thinner ones here, that is just last year's growth. So I think I cut half the stems last year, and so that's a mixture of 1 and 2 year old stems there. And then this one over here, that doesn't have any seed pods on it, this was all cut to the ground last year, I believe. So this is a year's coppice regrowth. It's about 6 feet, give or take, a little bit taller in some areas. But you've got some nice straight material to work with, maybe for some kind of a crafty use. If you were to soak it, maybe it would get flexible. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk persimmons a little bit, look at how this area is looking. Now someday I'm hoping this looks like a forest and not like a goddamn grassland with a few flags and sticks poking out of it, but that's been a long time coming. It's been kind of hard to wait and for this long. But anyway, yeah, lots of younger persimmons. I do have a few nicer, bigger ones. This one is probably one of the originals that I planted. A lot of them initially, I think I planted them in a really bad drought year. So this one is definitely large enough to flower, and it could have fruited, but it's either a male or it's just slow to come into bearing. That one right there, I believe, is a male. And then this one got spaded up when we did the power line construction because I felt it was a little too close to the lines. And then so I think all this stuff that we're seeing here is regrowth after 2020 or 19 or whenever that was done. So I did graft one last year and it grew pretty well. This stem here is a graft from Dennis Strail. So anyway, this is the persimmon area. I think I've got about 65 persimmons back here. They're not all flagged, but just the ones that were more on this west side I was flagging because some of those are literally kind of lost in the weeds. So to give myself a visual when trying to figure out a path, and also just to kind of take inventory of what I've gotten so I can, you know, give it some mulch, take care of it a little bit better. But yeah, this woody log mulch, these logs, a lot of them were from trees that were cut down 3 or 4 years ago, and they were going to be either firewood or mushroom logs in some cases, but they sat around for too long, and so now they are just nurse logs. They're not really, they're too punky for firewood. These longer ones back here would have been mushroom logs, I believe, from silver maple. I actually had the spawn that I ordered, and it rotted in my refrigerator for a year or more. So there's only so much time in a year to get everything done, and that fell by the wayside. One last thing to show. This bush here is a alder. I don't remember which species, maybe speckled alder or something. It's one of the native ones, I believe, and one that doesn't require a wetland. So far it's very shrubby. I don't think it's a tree species alder, but it's kind of a neat one, and you can see it's got these little seed cone deals on it. Maybe you can see. So yeah, I've not seen any reseeding of this plant after 10 or 12 years. But you can see it's kind of mulching itself, or maybe you can see it's kind of got its own little mat of mulch there. So anyway, there's a few other nitrogen fixers, more indigos and things. Been spreading some of those seeds around too, to try to get more nitrogen fixers in the mix here. And yeah, we'll look at this beautiful moss and we'll sign off. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.